Yo, we're back for part 2 of this review where we're going to be breaking down Jannik Sinner and Andy Murray and their court level practice points. So let's continue. Notice this is practice, right? There's nobody in the fucking stands and he's still going through his serve routine. There's a reason for that. If not, why would they do it? You think players just want to waste their fucking time out there? There's a reason why they do it, because it helps them execute better, right? So if you're not implementing some type of routine like that, you're just missing out on potential gains. So if you're complaining about results, it's like, bro, you're not even doing the easy shit, you know? So let's see here. With Andy Murray, like he's got a good serve, but I think he could have a more shoulder, elbow angle tilt. I mean, he has a solid serve for sure. I mean, one of the greats. But so even here with Jannik Sinner, notice how he still decides to keep the right foot a little bit more to the right side than the left foot is positioned. Even when he changes direction. So he went down the line, volleyed, cross. You see here again with his shoulder, elbow angle, you can see how there's a little bit of the shoulder, elbow angle for sure. But it's relatively more like this than it is like this, right? And you know, you want it kind of more tilted like that. So what that tells me is maybe he could get some more juice out of his serve. He keeps his left hand on the racket until the ball bounces. And then even as the ball bounces, he keeps his unit turn. So the ball bounces, and see how when he lets go of the racket, his left arm is completely straight and parallel with the baseline, right? Notice how the racket is still on the right side of his body, and his right elbow is relatively elevated as opposed to being close to the rib cage. And his shoulder blade, his left shoulder blade is facing forward. And he's in an open stance. And he hit an amazing deep ball from all of those things, from applying all of those specific things there. So notice when he steps in, his foot is positioned directly under his body. When Murray does this, he puts his foot a little bit more on this side here. You can do that, right? What I've seen more often than not with athletes, as a general rule, this is going to work for you significantly better than putting the foot more to the right. Now look, with anything, you can try it out. I have nothing against trying it out and seeing what works for you best, right? But if you haven't tried placing the right foot more directly under your body, right? Unless you're in some type of, really wide platform, you're gonna literally get way more vertical drive going straight up, which is what a lot of people really miss out on their serve. So let's break down this drop shot here. So here's how to hit a drop shot. When you set up with your racket, you're gonna set up with your racket head high, and you're gonna go from high to low. Contact point is gonna be low, And your racket's going to even drop below that, right? But what you're going to do is very simple. It's a high to low motion, and you're going to stop the racket at contact as a general rule to start with your drop shots. A lot of players don't understand that it's actually high to low. It's the most simple thing, but by applying that, you're going to actually have the correct technique on how to hit it. And just look, textbook drop shot right there. Look at his shoulder, elbow angle. Really, really good. Short ball. Where is he going? He goes cross there. But like here, I believe he should rip this down the line and follow it in. You know? Like why aren't you doing that? That's my question. You know, what do you guys think? Let's watch this again. Let's see. I think he totally should have gone down the line and followed that in. I mean, that was pretty short, right? Let's see. Really short. I don't know. To me, if I'm Jannik Sinner and I can hit the ball like he hits it and move like he moves, and I'm this short in the court and I get that easy of a ball, I'm ripping that down the line and coming in. So look at how Andy Murray turns. He does a really good job turning with his shoulders. So what he does is he turns from his shoulders so that he can show his opponent his right shoulder blade and even a little bit of his back here. All of the top pros turn their shoulders that much and show their shoulder blade forward. Every single one does it, guys, literally. Great timing there. Notice how he pushed off the right foot directly after made contact. Then, and only then, now the left foot is going to touch. That timing is really important to understand because oftentimes players don't have clarity on, do I transfer the weight forward, then on the left foot, and then stop and then hit the ball? Do I do it while I'm moving? How do I do it? Right? So understanding what I just broke down, that's extremely important in those type of scenarios where you're flowing through it going forward. That was good there. So look, guys, this is a scenario that I want to break down for you where what's the high level strategy when you get a short ball? Like, what are the things you should be thinking about? Let's take a look at this point. So, Sinner, this is a textbook thing. Every player who plays D1 tennis, high-level junior tennis, anything like that, even higher level, even lower level, you're probably going to have a scenario like this, right? You hit a good first serve, you get a really short ball. Now, obviously, you can think about, like, where am I going target-wise? Do I go cross, down the line? We're not even talking about that. Right? This is a really, really short ball where it's like really easy of a shot, right? This is not like more of like one of those tough approach shots. This is like, if we're talking about there's all the approach shots in the world out there, this is like one of the easier ones, right? So at this level, right? If you're a high level player, juniors, you're playing high level juniors, whatever, what you need to be thinking about at the higher levels when players move fast, you know, like you're playing someone like Andy Murray who can move, right? It's not good enough to just understand like what target to go to. You also have to understand the anticipation side of things. And what that means is you need to delay as much as possible before pulling the trigger. And you really want to wait until you see the guy commit to a side. Because at this level, the returner side, right, like Andy Murray's side here, his whole strategy in his brain, if he's playing this the smart way, is I'm basically going to guess and go, right? I'm going to guess and go and see where I'm going to go. And that's my only chance. So knowing that as Jannik Sinner over here, right, as the person who's hitting the approach shot, the name of the game is how can I just delay that as much as possible? Because eventually he's going to go somewhere, right? And if he doesn't go anywhere and he's flat-footed, well, he's toast, right? He only has a chance if he guesses early, right? Because it's such an easy ball to execute. So this is kind of the nuance to the game, guys. But notice how in this scenario, the priority is wait, right? He saw Andy Murray going to the left there, or to the right for him. So then he went to the left, right? So that's something that was really helpful for me, like personally for my game. And then it's also helped hundreds of the athletes that I've helped. So yeah. Huge serve. Huge serve. He has his weight on his right foot here, his back foot, but it's also his outside foot. And he turns his hip fast. He takes away space, gets tighter to the baseline here. Notice when he sets up, the racket head is on the left side of his body. It's on the hitting side of his body. And his right shoulder blade is facing directly forward. And his left elbow has a little bit of bend. Are you hitting those same checkpoints on your backhand? I don't care what level you are, if you're the best player in the fucking world or you're the biggest fucking scrub. You can practice enough to be able to hit some of these checkpoints or all of them. And another one is get your right elbow fully straight. Right? Can't guarantee to make a shot. You got to practice a lot of volume to do that. But you got to know what the right way is to hit the ball so you can strike the ball with more power, right? With more control and with less effort. It's that simple, right? That's why improving your technique is still a very high leverage activity for players, especially if you've, played for a bunch of years and you're kind of capped at your game. The reason why you're capped, one thing is you literally can't hit the ball. Your stroke is not as powerful as it could be. You just don't hit the stroke as optimally as your body could. So your athleticism is like this, 100%. You're only using like 70% of your athleticism, right? That's why you can see like some bodybuilder go out there to play tennis and they look like a fucking freak out there, right? Versus you can tell someone who has practiced the right technique, it has smooth strokes, they might be some weak little kid, but why are they getting power on the shot? Because they can transfer whatever smaller, less athleticism they have to make it so the ball has more power and all that than the stronger person who has no clue how to do the right mechanics. So like that example in and of itself should be very telling on, damn, I got to fix my technique, Even if you hit a good shot, right? You always want to keep improving. Notice, on the backhand volley, the most important thing for anyone's backhand volley, that is a general blanket statement you can apply, is set up as high as you can on your backhand volley. It's going to help you feel way stronger when you hit it. Look at how he sets up here. Do you see how high he's setting up? Look at his hand. If his racket was up, his racket would be like this high right now. His racket was above his head making contact. And when he set up, so notice also, look, he made contact here, racket above here, set up high. Notice how he did approach cross, right? Now, the nuance to it is, if you hit a really good shot cross court and your opponent, you can see they go to a slice and they're going to float the ball, you can anticipate and say, hey, he's going to hit a slice, he's going to float it, and you can tell based on how good of a shot you hit, also factor that in, and then you can start coming in off that, right? However, that rule doesn't negate the general principle of don't approach cross court unless you can hit a winner, right? Because still in that scenario, there is some athlete out there who'd probably be able to get to that and not slice it and be able to punish you, right? So it works against this player, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the general rule that you should have. It's more of like the exception to the rule, in my opinion. Really short ball here. You can see how Andy Murray's already committed to going to this target. Sinner, I'm curious if he noticed that or if he's just going to commit to going line. He went line. So notice that, right? So what did we just fucking talk about, guys? Jannik Sinner, before, what was I saying? The name of the game is what? Did you take notes on this? If you didn't take notes on this, you're playing yourself. But the name of the game is the anticipation side when you get an approach this easy. Again, with all the approach shots in the world, is this one of the easier ones? Is this like a normal approach? Or is this a very difficult approach? This is a relatively easier approach. And also because he still made contact with the ball above the net. So that's another indicator. Maybe if the ball's like below the net, maybe you can't be as aggressive and you can't go cross with this, right? Or you can't go line or whatever it is, right? Cross meaning you would go cross if you can hit a winner. So if I can't be that aggressive, maybe I just go line with it, right? So that's the only reason why I said that. But pay attention what did I say? The name of the game is waiting as long as you can, seeing where the guy commits to, and then playing that approach, right? So if you look here, did he wait as long as he could, right? And you got to give Andy Murray credit. Obviously, Andy Murray's very experienced, right? He's been in these type of anticipation scenarios, right? Trust me, these guys know these patterns, right? I'm not just making this shit up, right? These guys know there's a reason why they're doing this, right? Even if it's just subconscious. But so here, base level thinking is like, I'm here, I'm Jannik Sinner, I see my opponent's over here, so I should basically for sure go down the line. Right? But the name of the game is you still have to be aware of where he's committing to. Because I don't care what you say, if you're positioned like this, where you're actively running this way, right? And Jannik Sinner decides to go to this target here, I believe there's no chance Murray will get to that. And I also believe here with Jannik Sinner, he has plenty of time. Obviously, look, this is still milliseconds, guys. This is why the highest level players, they have good reaction time, all this shit, right? But reaction time wise, although it is still a small amount of time, relative to this, he has a lot of time. So the name of the game is wait, and then pick your target. You know? But got to give Murray credit. That was a good shot. If you're for the returner on Andy Murray's side there of that scenario, and you're in that same scenario where you're over here, Murray, he didn't really actively do a good job. It was just kind of how it worked out. But one thing that like smart players do is they will hang out here. So like Sinner in the scenario will be like, well, the person's hanging out here. They waited, they committed to this. So then I'm going to place it here. But then you're actively playing chess and you're like, I'm here, I'm bouncing. And then I know literally the minute he looks to the ball and to strike, I'm going to commit to the other target because I know that he's going to see me here. So he's going to go to the other side, right? As a general kind of like high percentage play. So this is the higher level shit that you can get into, guys. And look, it's actually still relevant for these guys here. I believe literally for Jannik Sinner, that's valuable information for him to know right now still, right? So if it's valuable for him to know, think about how valuable that is for you. Think about how much that's going to translate for you, right? Because I can guarantee for sure you're not as good as Jannik Sinner based on the fact that he's number one in the world. right? So but yeah, that was a good yap sesh. Open stance. Love that. Love that. Notice, he got the ball back deep. You can get it back deep with closed stance, obviously. No shit. However, man, that open stance is good. That open stance is beautiful. Open stance there too. Open stance there too. Open stance there too. Open stance there too. Close stance, and he hit a short ball. He went close stance, and he hit a short ball. Guys, come on. Come on. He hit a relatively short ball there. For the +1, Andy Murray decides to go open stance. He goes cross court because he went aggressive enough to hit a winner. So he didn't just go cross court because he wanted to go cross court. If he didn't believe I could hit a winner, he ain't going for that shot, right? Notice the split step from Jannik. He pushes off the right foot. Oh, he got aced. Yeah. The timing is push off the right foot, make contact, and then push off the left. Or not push off the left, but land on the left, rather. If I can speak properly. So, what target did he play here? He goes for a slice serve, and it breaks the sideline right around this corner right here. So when training targets, I like to train with athletes where the targets are actually shorter in the box here, so that you can get even more angle. Even if you sacrifice a little bit of power, you can find that sweet spot where you don't really sacrifice that much power, right? And you just got to calibrate it. But if you're a high level player, bro, you can totally train that and still hit it big. But the benefit of that is to get your opponent way out wide here, where even if they make the return or hit a good return, whatever, they're still going to be here. There's nothing they can do to not be here unless they take the ball insanely early, right? Which more often than not, they're not going to do because you hit it too short. So my advice for you guys is train your serves with your out wide targets being a big priority for you, especially if you're lower level. And especially if you've been stuck for a long ass period of time and not having consistent results, it can help you tremendously. And yeah, Murray's got a sick backhand. So there he went body. Like, to me, that's the wrong decision, right? So guys, if you're back home, see here. So Murray was doing some type of faking or whatever, but he still split steps here. If you're Sinner, because it's that short of a ball, I wouldn't be that concerned about the faking thing. Because your priority is, bro, basically just pick a side, whatever side that you can go bigger at and have more confidence with, go to that side. But like here, for example, like he could have totally gone cross here and I would have been like, that's good. That's a good try, you know, because I think he could have hit it bigger. But yeah, in general, as a general principle, look, you can totally approach to the body, right? It's something to use sometimes. But as a general principle, you're going to want to usually stick with the line or cross as a general rule for developing your game. Then, yeah, sure, go to those scenarios as well and utilize it. If it works against your opponent specifically, do it. Let's see his technique on the drop shot. Big serve, short backhand. He gets the short ball for the +1 shot. He goes high with his racket head above his head. Clearly, you can clearly see it. Is his racket head above his head? Yes or no? I'm telling the truth. Cool. Now, is he going to go high to low? He just went high. He made contact lower. So by nature of that, he went high to low. And did he stop the racket at contact? He went high, he went low, he stopped the racket, and then he turns his body a little bit, but the racket is still here. The racket is still here. So if you copy those checkpoints, go high, start high, go low, stop the racket at contact, you're going to be in a great position on your drop shot. Even though he missed that, I like how he went open stance on that.
Sorry.
Nice. I like how with his serve target, when he went down the tee here, the ball traveled on the right side here of the net to hit this point in the true tee position. If you aim right over the middle component, the ball's going to land too far over this way. So if you want it to go truly in the middle down the tee, especially if you're standing like here, you need to have the path like this going over the net like around here, and then and only then will the ball land in that position. That was good footwork from Sinner. So Sinner there, he made that shot. Like, remember the ball before that he missed, forehand on the run? Like this, that's an example of like he did the same shit. And then this one he made, the one before he missed. But I believe he did the right footwork both times. So notice, what did Sinner do to take advantage of this slicer? So the slicer, first of all, the slice serve wasn't that short in the box. So it broke the sideline, but too deep this way. So target-wise, if I was coaching Murray, I'd be like, dude, train your serves shorter. Why are all of your slice serves breaking too deep? If I'm being overly critical, which I am. And yeah, you want to train him shorter. Because think about it. Sinner would have to move way more to be able to take it that early. And usually you would just hit an ace on them if they try to cut the court that much when you slice it that short. But Sinner did a great job. What he did was he cut the court moving forward and diagonal at a 45-degree angle. So that's what he did, and got to give him credit for that. It's pretty good. Sweet. Awesome, guys. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys got some good value out of it. Yeah, I love making these videos for you guys. So subscribe to the channel. Keep watching my videos. Watch them for the full length. And yeah, send them to any friends who play tennis who would get some value out of it. I want to help their game too. And yeah, guys, let's run it up. Hope you have an amazing day. Peace out. See you in the next one. Boom.